progressive society depends heavily on efficient roads, the flyovers, pedestrian bridges, and other infrastructures. Much as it is the job of the government to provide this, citizens must work with the government to bring sanity on them, especially our roads. Welcome to Road Matters. I am Fatima Omar, and today on the program, we'll look closely at the menace of wrong-way driving. It is illegal, unlawful, and dangerous, but it has almost become a norm. What is responsible for this obviously uncivilized attitude? How can this be curbed for the safety of road users? Stay tuned.
Wrong-way driving has been a subject of intense scrutiny over the past decades. It crashes occur when the driver intentionally or unintentionally drives in the opposite direction of traffic. It has been a constant traffic safety problem on the road. These crashes could lead to fatal or severe injuries or even deaths. These collisions are most often head-on, which of course tend to leave motorists traumatized. It is a daily occurrence, especially when traffic is tight on one side of the road, and citizens sometimes put the blame on officials assigned to manage traffic and maintain law and order on the road. Here is an eyewitness clip on the situation he encountered.
From Mogadishu cantonment towards Nyanya, this is the first overhead bridge. Coming from Nyanya, the Federal Road Safety Corps has a duty post, and on the other side of the road going to Nyanya, there is a police post. In between, there is a starting point on the police post side from where the Okada riders take off in large number and defiantly facing the traffic coming from Mogadishu cantonment, who have the right of way. The police sit leisurely behind their post as the Okada riders have their way. The Federal Road Safety Corps, on their side, sometimes are busy checking vehicles and paying no attention on the Okada riders moving against the traffic on the other side of the road. Rumor is that the Okada riders pay weekly to law enforcement agencies to remain in the business of disobeying traffic regulations. When will change take place in the face of this agreement between lawbreakers and law enforcement agencies?
Are the officials responsible turning a blind eye to indiscipline on the road?
The issue of driving against the traffic, which is popularly called driving against one way here in our country. We also have things like willful and deliberate disobedience to road traffic signs. There are clear laws. As a matter of fact, when you drive against the traffic, driving against the traffic is prohibited under the Road Traffic Act, and it becomes a complicated matter. If in the course of driving against the traffic, you are involved in an accident, you damage someone's vehicle, or you damage government property, or you get someone injured, or you get someone killed. As a matter of fact, if someone dies, that becomes even more complicated. It becomes a fatal motor accident, and it will be treated that way. There are rules that regulate that, but it's a serious matter because you could face manslaughter charges in the court of law. It becomes a homicidal matter, and then it will be treated appropriately. Just like the kind of training that lawyers get. We are made to understand that it is better for 99 criminals to escape than for one innocent person to be unduly harmed, to be unnecessarily harmed. Sometimes why we don't chase people when they commit traffic offenses could be because we are trying to prevent a bigger disaster. So if I see if it's a scenario where I have assessed the situation, and in my judgment, I believe that a pursuit of this man could actually lead to a greater accident or a greater fatality, I will let him go. I will take his plate number. Even if I'm unable to get his plate number, I will still let him go and save the society from greater harm and greater collateral damage. That's the way we work. When you set out on a patrol, for example, we don't expect you to arrest all the bad boys in a single day. But keep arresting, keep investigating, keep prosecuting, and we'll be taking them out of circulation one after the other. People, because someone has just brushed them and the person refused to stop, go on hot pursuits, and sometimes chasing another driver and driving up to 120, 140 kilometers per hour, trying to catch up with another mad and reckless driver. And sometimes they think they're actually trying to instill discipline, but they are also exhibiting another round of madness and indiscipline. Apart from lack of proper education, you also look at things like drug abuse. When people are under the influence of substances, it doesn't matter what you say to them, it doesn't matter how bold the road signs are, the tendency and the chances or the possibility for them of them breaking the rules are very high, because their sense of judgment is impaired, their capacity to think through is affected negatively, and so you are dealing with someone who is not thinking right and acting right. You also have the tendency of big manism. There are people in this country that just believe that they are VIPs. And so they believe every other person must give them priority when they're on the road. They believe they're above the laws of the land. They believe every other vehicle must get off the road for them to pass unimpeded and unhindered. So if a police officer, for example, is arrested driving against traffic, I expect that he should also be disciplined internally through the orderly room process. If he's a senior police officer, he should be queried. And then through that way again, we will send a strong message that our respective institutions, the police, the military, the civil defense, the customs, the immigration, and the rest of us will not or do not, as institutions, encourage the disobedience of our traffic laws and regulation. As long as perpetrators of offenses or as long as violators of our traffic laws are allowed to go unpunished, are allowed to go unprosecuted, there will be no disincentive or there will be no incentive for them to stop. So we must bring violators of our traffic laws to book. We must ensure that they are arrested, investigated, prosecuted, and made to pay heavy fines, or even in extreme cases, made to either serve jail terms or be compelled to perform community services. And if we can do that, we'll be able to put a check to some of the unnecessary breaches.
The road safety assigned with the sole responsibility of keeping the roads safe could be held accountable, since they also control traffic for safety of road users.
If somebody will come out and tell me that they used to bribe our staff who are controlling traffic in Nyanya to take one way, I am not somebody that is very fast in saying no to it. Neither will I say yes to it. In all the complaints I have received in issue of taking one way in Nyanya, has always been that there are people who feel they are untouchable, they will not want to follow the right route. They will take one way maybe because of hold up along the major route they are applying. They will now bust out after sharp corner from where they do take the one way. But in any case, we do send surveillance out to monitor the activities of our men. These surveillance activities that I'm talking about, of course, our men, they know that anybody that is arrested with any bribe case, and it is proved beyond reasonable doubt, in any case, when we arrest you with bribe, we have evidence to show anywhere, then you should be prepared to leave the job, because the end result is you'll be terminated. The books are there to guide us. We have what we call the maintenance of discipline. So that book guides us. So whatever offense you commit, you've already known the repercussion. Once it's proved beyond reasonable doubt that that offense is committed, certainly the law will take its course on you. So we don't joke with issues of bribe. We don't joke with issues of behaviors that are against our operational ethics when we are out there on operations. We don't joke with them. People are just being very, very impatient. You have a small traffic hold-up in a particular location. You are in a haste. I want to go to where I'm going because maybe such people they didn't wake up on time to meet up with their appointments. But what we keep on saying, or what we tell people, is that, look, you have an appointment by 8 o'clock. Leave your house latest by 6 o'clock in the morning. Plus or minus. You will have known how many minutes you will spend in a particular place. Because this traffic will not tell you, I'll be heavy today, I'll be light today. It won't tell you. It's only when you go out. So to avoid such a situation and to meet up with your appointment, then you need to leave in good time, so that you can hit the road where you have traffic hold up, exercise some patience. There's nothing like maneuvering like James Bond to get your way out. No. Just look, driving requires patience. Anything short of that is the kind of thing we are talking about taking one way. If there are uniformed men that are doing that, it's a very bad one, because people are supposed to learn from them. We are the custodians of the law. We are enforcing the law. And when we are enforcing these laws, courtesy demand that we should do the right thing. I should not be the person who is enforcing and the same person who is breaking it. It is very, very bad. And it doesn't tell well. And nobody is above any law. Anybody that is caught taking one way, that is outright route violation. It's a route violation offense. And a route violation offense is only 5,000 naira. That is the offense. But there's something that is added there. Since 1st July 2017, anybody caught committing that offense, route violation, apart from paying the fines that will be booked him, he must in capital letter or bolded to those who are good in computer, must go to the hospital for emotional evaluation. He must go and do that evaluation in the hospital. And it's not just any hospital the person goes to. We have only 4 hospitals within the city center that we honor their results. Federal Medical Center, Jabi, National Hospital, Garki General Hospital, and the Nigerian Police Force Hospital in Area 1. These are the 4 hospitals within the city center that we honor the test, the results. Any hospital outside these ones, within the city center, no. You have to go to any of these that I have mentioned. So, route violation is a critical offense. It is not the only one that we send people to hospital. We have people who use phone, They were also sent to the hospital for that evaluation. We have people who beat traffic lights. They are also sent to the hospital. We have people who drive dangerously. They are also sent to the hospital. I don't look at it as a mistake. It's intentional. Because that is not the road you are supposed to take. You are facing oncoming traffic. It is wrong. And we do advise, if I'm a pedestrian, I am trekking. Courtesy demands that I should face oncoming traffic, not back oncoming traffic, because I am trekking. So if I am facing oncoming traffic, it means you've taken a wrong route. It means you are coming behind me. I am not seeing you. And you now come and knock me down and I'm dead. You should be treated like a murderer. That is my own take there. It's really a criminal case. And the person cannot get out of it. Because you must explain to us. Why didn't you follow this way to go and take a turn to where you are going? Oh, you feel that it's a shortcut for you. Perhaps that shortcut could be to 6 feet deep. So that is the way I look at it. But honestly speaking, it doesn't tell well. People should learn. People should learn to do what is right. When you do what is right and the unexpected happen, nobody will say you are the genesis, you are the cause. But rather, people will just be praying for you.
It has become a pain for motorists, especially on roads prone to human and vehicular movement across the country. Car owners and commercial drivers, as well as motorcyclists, popularly known as Okada riders, indulge in this act, even knowing it is dangerous.
One thing people fail to understand here is that when the unexpected is about to happen, it does not know whether I'm a corps commander in road safety or I'm a 3-star general in the Nigerian army or in the military. You do what is wrong on these roads. Like I do say, the roads are very, very patient. But it does not forgive those that make mistakes. Go out, make that mistake, it catches up with you. So there's no respect. It's only me and you as human beings. When we say ourselves, we respect ourselves. But the road does not know that. You've done what is wrong, you pay for the consequences of what you have done. And that is a fact.
In Nigeria, a lot of people don't attend driving schools. They grow up, stumble into money, buy their vehicles, just get someone to teach them the basics of driving, and whoop, they jump into the steering. And then they begin to drive. So sometimes they are illiterates, in quotes, when it comes to reading road signs. They don't even understand basic road signs. And so they break these laws at random, sometimes ignorantly. So we must begin to look at proper education for drivers and road users. The practice of people getting licenses, sometimes in proxy, must be put an end. And I'm glad that the road safety, the Federal Road Safety Corps is doing a whole lot in this regard, streamlining our licensing processes and making sure driver's licenses are issued to only persons who are fit and proper to drive, persons who are very qualified. And this is a challenge to law enforcement agents. We must enforce the law without fear and without favor. We must be firm and impartial in enforcing the laws. We must ensure that the same laws are applicable to the big, the small, the rich, and the poor. That's the only way we can tackle impunity. That's the only way we can make sure that people who think that they're above the law are brought down and made to know that we are all equal before our laws.
It is the most terrifying sight for most drivers. Imagine driving down the highway and suddenly a car or a truck is heading straight towards you, driving the wrong direction in your lane, your own lane. Annoying and dangerous. While the officials try to control this havoc, as a road user, it is important to not only know the traffic rules and regulations, but to obey them. As usual, here are some tips for safety on the road.
When driving and you find another driver in the opposite direction of traffic, flash your high beam to try to get their attention and pull over to the side of the road immediately. Always look out for road signs like wrong way or one way. You may be able to avoid an accident. Make sure you are on your lane and be disciplined enough to direct others when driving on the wrong way. Pay attention to the road and cars. Be aware of your surroundings. Then the likelihood of making a wrong turn will be very low. When you are driving on the wrong way, going to the wrong direction, you have made another mistake that could cause a crash. Apologize and turn the right way. Arguing or trying to own the road could lead to road rage, which can be even more dangerous. Keep in mind, no driver owns the road. Allow the officials if you see any acts of road indiscipline for proper and effective management of situations. Have patience on the road. The good driver is the one who gets home safe.
Officials concerned are on the road to curb this menace. But it is a situation that happens often that it has become a problem in our country. Let's stop driving the wrong way and taking one way. This is where we end the program today. You can stay in touch with the program on Twitter or send a mail. And if you find something happening in your area, send a clip to the program. We appreciate the feedback. And join us next week for another interesting topic. I am Fatima Umar. Be the change you want to see on the road. Bye-bye.